Hello everyone and namaskar. This is Dr. Sudarshan Sambajirav Pedge, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, Kailaswasi Rasika Mahavidyalaya Devni, your zoology companion, and welcome to my lecture. In the last lecture, we completed pond ecosystem as well as desert ecosystem. Now today we will focus on next chapter of our syllabus, that is the food chain. So let's get started today's lecture. Question may arise in your mind, what is meant by the food chain? Okay, food chain means a sequence of being eaten is called food chain. That is the one particular common definition of food chain. Okay, another one definition is there, that is the food chain means the patterns of being eaten forms a linear chain. That linear chain is called food chain. Okay, that is the one particular definition of food chain. Okay, so we know very well any kind of ecosystem, the biotic factors of the ecosystem are linked together by food, right? For example, the producer form the food for the herbivores and the herbivores form the food for the carnivores. Okay, that is the one simple example of food chain. Okay, so repeated eating being eaten, the energy is transferred from one trophic level to another trophic level, and this transfer of energy from one trophic level to another called energy flow. Okay, you see here phytoplankton transfer energy into the zooplankton, and zooplankton transfer energy into the fishes, and fishes transfer energy into the snake. That is the one particular pattern. That is the transfer of energy from one trophic level to the next trophic level. Okay, you see here is the trophic level first, the phytoplankton is the trophic level first, another trophic level second, trophic level third, and trophic level fourth. It means the energy is transferred from one trophic level to another trophic level, and this transfer of energy from one trophic level to the another called energy flow. Okay, for example, food chain in a pond ecosystem. This is the example of pond ecosystem. Okay, phytoplankton, zooplankton, and fishes and snake is there. Okay, that is the one particular example of pond ecosystem. Okay, and the various steps in a food chain are called trophic levels. Okay, various steps. The phytoplankton is the first step, second step is the zooplankton, that is the first is the phytoplankton is the producer, then herbivorous, that is the consumer, the primary consumer, another secondary consumer is there, that is the fishes. Okay, and another that is fishes is the primary carnivores also, right? Another, and next that is the snake is the tertiary consumer as well as secondary carnivore. Okay, that is the one particular steps. That steps is called as trophic levels. Okay, so you see here there is a trophic first and trophic second, trophic third as well as trophic 4, right? It means the energy flow through food chains and the direction of arrows indicate the direction of energy flow. Okay, arrow indicate the direction of energy flow. Okay, it means the phytoplankton transferred energy towards the zooplankton, and then zooplankton transfer energy to fishes, as well as fishes transfer energy into the snake. Okay, that is the one particular direction of arrow indicate the direction of energy flow. right? You see here a typical food chain can be seen in pond ecosystem. Okay, the algae and phytoplankton are eaten by the zooplankton. Okay, first of all, the algae and phytoplankton are eaten by the zooplankton, and the zooplankton are eaten by fishes, and the fishes are again eaten by the snake. It means a typical food chain can be seen in a pond ecosystem. Right? You see here the algae and phytoplankton are eaten by the zooplankton, and then zooplankton are eaten by fishes, and the fishes are eaten by the snake. So this is the complete food chain of pond ecosystem. Okay. Again, one more point, that is the food chains are of two types. First is the grazing food chain, and second one is the detritus food chain. In the grazing food chain, see here the in the grazing food chain, this food chain starts from plants. Okay, see here in the diagram of food chain. Okay, it goes through herbivores and ends in carnivores. Okay, it starts from green plants and end in the carnivores. Okay, and such type of food chains is totally depends on the autotrophs, which kept why, because autotrophs are, or producers are, capture sunlight energy or a radiant or solar radiation with the help of chlorophyll pigments, and that energy transferred into the chemical energy of organic compound such as carbohydrate, proteins, fats. When the herbivore animal eats a plant, and energy is transferred from another level. Okay, that is the transfer from one trophic level to the second, and then third, and then fourth. That is the energy is transferred from one trophic level to the another trophic level. Okay, that is the one particular grazing food chains. Okay, so you see here green plants eat goat, after that that energy transferred in the man, and lion eaten on man. That's the energy is transferred into the lion. After the dead bodies of lion, that dead body decomposed by decomposers, and that decomposers again released chemicals or organic salts into the soil, and that organic and inorganic salts again reutilized by the green plants. Okay, that is the one particular chain, that is the one particular pattern. That pattern is called as food chain, or that pattern the grazing food chain. Okay, in that the grazing food chain is further divided into two types. Okay, first is the predator food chain, and another one is the second one is the parasitic food chain. Okay, see one by one. The first is the predator food chain. In predator food chain, one animal captures and devours another animal. Okay, the animal which is eaten is called prey, and the animal which eats other animals is called predator. Okay, the predator food chain is formed of plants, herbivores, primary carnivores, secondary carnivores, and so on. This is the one particular total producer, consumer, and the producers and consumers. Okay, there is the first one, the producer, and then herbivores, the primary consumer, and then primary carnivores means primary and secondary consumers is there. Okay, another next one is the parasitic food chain. In the parasitic food chain, the plants and animals of the grazing food chain are infected by parasites. Okay, we know very well plants and animals are infected by various types of parasites. Okay, and we know very well, and dogs as well as cattles, we have seen the ectoparasites on the skin, as well as endoparasites is also in the bloods. Okay, that is the one particular infected by parasites. Okay, animal infected by the parasite. The parasite derive their energy from their host. Okay, and thus the parasitic chain is formed within the grazing food chain. Only these parasitic chain only form in the grazing food chain. Okay, so this is the grazing food chain. Another food chain is detritus food chain. This food chain starts from organic matter and ends in inorganic compounds. We know that the certain group of organisms which feed on the dead bodies of animals and plants. These organisms are called detritivores. Okay, these organisms are called the detritivores. Which organism is detritivores? Those animals is feed on dead bodies of animals. Okay, that animals is called detritivores animals. Okay, in the detritus animal include algae, bacteria, fungi, protozoan, insects, millipedes, centipedes, crustaceans, annelid worms, nematodes, ducks, etc. These are the animals which included in the detritus animal or detritus food chain. Okay, and these are some amount of energy is trapped and excreted in the form of simple organic compound, and these energy again used detritivores until are converted into CO2 and water. So today we completed food chain. I repeated once again, that is the food chain. In the food chain also, the definition of food chain we discuss today. The definition of food chain is the pattern of or the sequence of being eaten. That pattern is called food chain, and in that we also seen the example of pond ecosystem, and that the ecosystem we also clear trophic levels as well as energy flow. Another, that is the next one, is the grazing food chain. Also today here we studied that the grazing food chains is totally depends on the autotrophs. Okay, and in the grazing food chains also divided into two subtypes, and that subtypes, that is the predator food chain as well as the parasitic food chain, also studied today. And in the last, the detritus food chain is also completed. So this is it for today. So my dear friends, if you like my video, so please tap like button and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon for upcoming video. Thank you very much.